Nina Hamilton lives in the inner Hobart suburb of Newtown. She's a gardener, a mother and a wedding photographer until, like so many Australians, everything suddenly changed with the COVID-19 pandemic.
I was about 2/3 of the way through my wedding season and suddenly it was cut short, so I found myself with absolutely no work, dealing with having to homeschool a child. I found it very difficult. I'm an introvert and I do like my space and I quite like quiet space, and having a 6-year-old who is very energetic and very talkative, we clashed quite a bit, and both of us getting quite anxious because we didn't have an outlet to go and release any of the energy. I was worried about work and money coming in, also worried that if we went into lockdown and quarantine, where I was going to get my fresh food from, because we eat a lot of fresh produce.
That's when her gardening skills came to the rescue. She started working on a small garden in the middle of her street. So how did it eventuate?
The garden has its history from about 6 years ago when the council gave us permission to use it as a place for growing vegetables. So I found it overgrown, unused. The neighbours thought it was quite unsightly, and yeah, I decided that it needed a makeover.
And what a makeover. It's my kind of makeover. It's a perfect little garden. Did you rip it all out at once and plant in, or did you do it sort of piecemeal?
No, it was done piecemeal, Tino. This little area just here, you can see the marker, this was the first patch that I did. There was so much twitch, so it actually took a long time to dig that out. So it was extended this way. The twitch was all eventually pulled out. The garden beds slowly made their way around, and then the path was put in.
So did you source all these materials, like the bricks and the wood?
I did, yeah. Everything's been donated, so it's been amazing. The bricks have been either found here on site, some of them were in the garden, some have been donated by people who have ripped up patios. All the wire and the stakes have been donated by neighbours, and the pine bark on the paths was actually from the Hobart City Council.
Oh, great. Wow, you've got a lot of stuff in here. You've got a really good spread.
Yeah.
The broadies are looking fantastic as always.
These guys were donated to me. So there's 2 types in here. A white one,
yep,
which I'm familiar with.
Oh, you've got the crimson.
Yeah.
Oh, they're fantastic. I mean, same thing, really. You've just got that sort of more ornamental red flower that you can still eat. You can eat all these flowers. They taste like peas. And you can even eat the leaves. You put them in salads. But the problem is if you've got those 2 types, there may be a bit of crossing. So if you do collect the seed, it might be a little bit of a blend between the 2.
That's fine.
But your garlic is fantastic.
Yeah, this was a stranger. I have no idea who he is. Just came up one day, was sitting in his car and asked me whether I wanted some organic purple garlic. And next morning, it was 3 cloves sitting on my compost bin.
And the rocket, I love the rocket. I love the idea of self-seeding plants. And these flowers on those, they're really important for those bees. You know, there's always that source that they can get to, so.
Yeah, I've noticed them on all the flowers that I've got in here. So hopefully it'll be a haven for bees.
Do you find the garden's not just a place where you can eat and look, it's about all the senses?
Yeah, I do. I love the smell. I love the smell of the earth. I think that's one of my favourite smells, especially after rain. And I love the textures and the flavours of the food, and I particularly love the greens that have a little bit of bite in them.
As the neighbours saw Nina spending time transforming the garden, they too became interested in what was happening.
When Nina started, I was very, very inquisitive to say, "What you doing? What you doing?" And she said, "Oh, I'm going to plant this. Oh, I said, "How wonderful. At least the place is going to look completely different." And I think it gives something to do to people to do, wherever they live here. And I think that's magnificent.
Went into flower.
They did, these ones, didn't
They went into flower, yeah, that's right.
They come and they pick what they need as they need it. Some of them have vegetable gardens themselves, and so we do swaps with the vegetables depending on who has what crop at the time.
It's a credit to Nina. She did all the work, actually. It's a big credit to her. As the saying goes, where there is a will, there is a way.
I've got more broccoli in over there as well.
She's just established a beautiful garden, and it's just lovely to walk around and see everything growing. You can live opposite people, but you don't really know them until this sort of thing happens.
Even as life in Tassie eases back to a new kind of normal, this tiny garden continues to play an important role in Nina's life.
It has been so beneficial for my own mental health. It's almost like garden therapy, and I really encourage anybody who's struggling at the moment to get out there and get their hands dirty and plant even just a few small things that they can eat.